I've had many weird experiences and encounters in my life. I read these stories all the time from brave people who shared, so I decided to share one of mine. This is my first Reddit post here, so here goes. I grew up in an affluent neighborhood about 45 minutes away from a major city in the US. My neighborhood was a total bedroom community around 4,000 people, which means virtually no crime aside from stupid rich-tard kids driving around hitting mailboxes with a baseball bat. I had much more sense early on because both of my parents worked hard and taught me the value of doing the same, along with other virtues like respect and just generally not being a total clown-shoes asshole to people. Anyway, for reference, this event happened when I was 12 in the late 90s. I'm a girl, and though I've since grown about 4 inches, I was about 5 feet 2 inches and probably barely 100 pounds. I've always been very athletic, playing multiple sports from the time I was even mildly conscious because I have a good number of high-level athletes in my family, including my dad. My mom is from a major city and taught me the value of awareness of my surroundings early. All this will make sense in a moment. She always told me to have my keys to our house out and in my hand as soon as I got off the school bus to walk down my street home, though I never knew why. I'm so glad she always stressed this because I'm pretty certain it saved my life. So, one day I say bye to my friends and hop off the bus to take the short walk down to my house. My street curves in a half circle, which makes it difficult to see around the curve. So basically, you can only see a bit in front and behind as you walk. It's the least creepy street ever, neighbors all around with a comfortable distance between houses. As I'm mindlessly walking around my curving street, I get a funny feeling that makes me turn and look behind me just as the crossing street is going out of my view. I see a man walking down the street that mine makes a T-shape with, the one I was dropped off on. Weird, I think, as I've never seen him before, and not to say we knew everyone, but what struck me was that he wasn't really dressed like people did around there. He was dressed fine in jeans and a polo, both of which were way too big. I shrugged and kept walking, but something was really bothering me about this guy. I was about to walk by my next door neighbor's house, still pondering what was making me feel scared, when I looked back again. I figured I'd have to walk out into the street a bit to see where he went, but no. I had walked a fair distance, but this guy was suddenly no more than 10 feet from me. You always think in situations like this you'd scream or something, but my breath caught in my throat. I couldn't fathom how he'd gotten so close that fast, and his wide-eyed hyper-focused stare threw daggers into my stomach. I knew I was in big trouble. Not wanting to find out what the fuck he wanted, who he was, or why he was gaining on me, I went directly into flight mode, knowing my house was about 100 yards away. I noped hard. I took off running across my driveway and realized he was running after me because I heard his feet on the asphalt then on my driveway. I know he was close because I ran track, but I didn't waste time looking back. Realizing my backpack, which probably weighed half of what I did, was slowing me down, I threw my arms back, holding my keys in a death grip. I knew I could outrun him if weren't so heavy and my backpack slipped off. I was able to gain distance on him, and I don't know if it was panic or adrenaline, whatever, but my front door keyhole became huge in my eyesight and I jammed my key in and got inside. I slammed my big ass oak door so hard that it recoiled in half, thinking about what could happen if he got into my empty house. I slammed it closed and locked it. I stood there for a second, just wide-eyed and confused, until I realized I should look out of the peephole. When I did, it was pitch black. More confusion. It was 3 p.m. I stood looking and starting to shake uncontrollably, and that's when I saw why it was black. Light started coming through as I saw this fucking creep sigh, and then him backing away from my door, having tried to look in. He was that close to me. He stood there for a moment, eyeballing my door and house, probably looking for another way in. Then he started turning around on my porch to face the street, cursing under his breath. I could see him mouthing it but couldn't, partially I'm sure because I was in total shock. Then he raises the creep factor to new heights. He skip walks off my porch, across my giant lawn to the street in the same direction we had been running, and raises his hand in the air. From behind my very tall pine trees on the right side from my vantage point, I see a white, windowless van pull up in front and he hops in. I can't see the driver because of the tinted windows in front, but they sat there and I swear I could feel them looking at my door, maybe figuring out what to do next. I'm shaking writing this now. They drove off and I slumped to the floor shaking and freaking out so hard I legitimately had to crawl to my kitchen. I hid and called my mom, who despite working all the way downtown in the city made the 45-minute drive home in 15. She drove around ready to pull their spines out because although she's the kindest person I've ever known, she will kick your ass. Or worse if you mess with me, haha. We called the cops and I gave my statement, but they never found those freaks. So creepy bait and switch kidnappers, let's not ever meet.